Good evening, bonjour, namaste. Welcome to Live with Naveen Manchanda. Today we have a very special session for you, and we have invited two tour guides from Paris in France, and they want to convey a very special message to the tourism industry and also to the French government. So, as you know, tourism is suffering very badly these days in the present situation. And let us invite our uh, friends from Paris, Margot and Manuela. So, Margot, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Naveen, and thank you for this invitation.
Thank you so much. And let us welcome Manuela to the studio. Welcome, Manuela.
Hello,
How are you?
bonjour. I'm fine, thank you,
Bonjour.
Naveen.
So you said bonjour. So today the show that we have got, our audience is going to be mixed audience. So we have a lot of audience from India and many other countries. And today's show will have also audience especially from France. So you said bonjour. You know how we say bonjour in India? In India, our bonjour is namaste. We join both the hands and we say namaste. Namaste means namaha means I bow in front of you. Namaha is bowing, and te means you. So when I bow in front of you, when I use the word you means not your body, but a part of God, which is your soul. So I bow in front
Oh,
of God, which I see in your soul. So that's how we
oh, it's
welcome
beautiful.
everyone. Thank you. Namaste. Namaste, Margot. Namaste, Manuela.
Namaste.
Namaste, bonjour.
So,
Yeah.
bonjour. So in French we say bonjour, means have a nice day, have a good day. Bon is good and jour is day. So we are here today because we are going to talk about tourism industry today. So in the present scenario, many industries are suffering. The whole world is suffering. But I am sure that the worst hit industry in these days is the tourism industry
Yeah.
everywhere in India, in France as well. So in India also we are going through the same problems, and in India we did not get much help. I mean, there is because it's a big country, it's not easy to do everything for a lot of people. But in France, I think it's very important because a lot of your revenue for France, I think, comes from tourism. You are the number one tourist destination in the world, and
Yes, we
so
are. Yes.
let's talk about it. To start the discussion, before we go further, I would request you to introduce yourself. Margot, would you like to introduce yourself?
Of course. So my name is Margot. I've been a licensed tour guide in France for over 20 years. I've been living here, however, for more than 30 years, originally from Amsterdam,
Mhm.
mother of a very, very, very large, colorful family. And working with passion in the guiding. I mean, it really is as much a passion as a profession.
Yeah.
So I always consider myself very lucky that I made a passion into a profession.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. And what about you, Manuela? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Well, my name is Manuela. I am a true Parisian. I was born here, but I
Right.
also have two different cultures because my father is Spanish and my mom is French. I've been a guide for 13 years now, so it's been a while.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
just like
That's,
Margot, I love my job. I love telling stories and learn about history. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
yeah.
great profession that needs to be
Yeah.
protected.
Protected.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand because I worked for so many years. I started myself my career as a guide, and if you are
Oh
not
yeah,
passionate about it, you cannot do it because it
true.
comes from inside. You need to love people, you need to love history, and unless you're passionate, it's impossible to do. So, just Margot, one curiosity because you said you came from Netherlands. So
Yes.
I was just wondering, why did you choose Paris? Like, why Paris?
Well, I can ask you the same thing. Why did you choose Paris?
Okay, so I am frequently in Paris. Yeah, we are a European DMC
Yes,
as well. So because I personally feel there is no city like Paris, so I'm in love with Paris. Paris is just Paris.
I agree with you. Husbands come and go, but Paris is always Paris. Excuse me. Shouldn't be saying that. Keeping
No,
to the one I have now.
that's
Yes.
interesting. I was not expecting this. Could you just repeat? You said husbands come and go, but Paris is Paris.
It's Paris. Yes, of course. I mean, how many movies have you seen talking about?
True.
I mean, it could be any kind of subject, really, whether it's Mission
Yeah, yeah,
Impossible or Midnight in Paris. Paris
right.
attracts people from all over the world. There's something special with Paris. And not just Paris, I must say, France.
The whole country, yeah.
The whole country,
yeah. France, of course, yeah. France is the country of love, and Paris is the city of love.
Of savoir-vivre, of the French way of life, of food, of fashion, of culture.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, because we are talking about tourism, we are talking about tour guides in Paris today. So I have heard a lot of things about. We talk about official guides, like you are official guides that we call in Paris guide conférencier, or in France. So you have that diploma, you are licensed to work as a guide. But what happens in Paris, there are a lot of guides, I would say, unofficial guides or fake guides, you can call them, or many things. You can give many different names. And I want to tell you the truth sometimes, because we are a DMC in Paris, and we work for Europe. And even sometimes we also have problems. We do not find guides in Paris who speak Hindi. So at times, even we are forced to take guides who are without diploma, because we just do a city tour, but could you just tell what are the risks or what are the problems that we can have if we use unlicensed guides in France or Paris?
Well, the thing is that the rules are pretty strict. If you conduct a tour in a museum or in a monument in France, you have to hire a professional licensed guide. Because technically, you're not supposed to guide if you don't have the degree. So sometimes people do it anyway, they just act like they're part of the same family, or, but you can get caught. So the guards can, ask you to leave. So it can be very embarrassing. And second, even if you don't get caught, it's not a good thing for the people who listen to the tour, because you can never know if the person knows what he or she is talking about. You have no proof, that they studied enough, that they know the history, that they can answer your questions. So it's better to go through a professional guide who knows everything. A lot of things.
A lot of things.
May I add something to that? Because there are countries in Europe that actually have laws, much stricter laws than France, protecting guides. Like, for example, the Blue Badge guides in London. Everybody in the whole world knows what you're talking about. In Greece, monuments are protected in a certain way. There are areas around the monuments where if you guide without a license, there is a very, very high fine to it. And even in France, there are regulations like that. The only thing is that they're not
always respected.
They're not always respected.
In Italy too.
In Italy too. Yeah, in Italy they're very strict, because I went as a tour manager with many of my groups, and sometimes we have had checking in Rome. We have had checkings. They come and check if my guides were licensed. So luckily I have a licensed guide, so it is always safe. So I must tell you, Manuela and Margot, that we are receiving some nice comments from our audience as well. Here, Sanjay Soni is saying hi, Margot, and Manuela. Sanjay Malik saying hi, Manuela. Sanjay Soni again says lovely talk show. And Sandeep Shaw is talking about a forum that we created yesterday for tourism in India. And Sanjay Soni is saying bonjour to you, and somebody says in Thailand, and Hugo Andre saying namaste, and then a lot of messages. Then we have Lisa saying hello, Naveen, and Deborah Cohen saying, Deborah Cohen saying merci for representing us, Deborah Paris Guide. She's saying hello to you.
Hello, Deborah.
Hello, Deborah.
Sanjay Soni saying Paris is a beautiful city. Yolanda, dommage, je ne parle pas anglais, mais bon, mais je crois qu'on a le temps, elle pourra encore regarder à la fin de l'émission tranquillement. In the end of the tour, à la fin de l'émission, you can see this at your pace.
We'll add subtitles afterwards.
Yeah, we'll add subtitles maybe. Gaurav Kandelwal saying Paris, city of love and romance. Audrey, Didi saying Yoli, elle explique les avantages et formations d'un guide, et autres pays sont plus stricts. Ok. So we are getting messages
She's
from
doing the
France.
interpreter.
She's doing the subtitling, actually.
She is. Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you, Audrey. Yeah.
So Perveen says, welcome on board, you beautiful ladies. Go Margot and Manuela says, Audrey again, Audrey Didi. And Sanjay Soni, Naveen, very informative show. I'm loving it. Thank you so much, Sanjay Soni. So you see, you're receiving a lot of love from the audience. So I was just wondering, we said about unauthorized guide and authorized guides. So how does one become an authorized guide in Paris like you? What is the process?
Well, you have to get a specific license. So in the university. So it's usually between 3 or 4 years in college, in university. And during this, there's a specific year when you really train to become a guide. So you get to learn art history, French history, architecture, but also guiding techniques, you know, how to talk to a group, how to explain things in a good way. And of course, you have to speak different languages, like be really fluent, have a good level in the languages you choose. You know, I picked English and Spanish. Margot obviously also speaks Dutch. So yeah, it's part of the job, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Margot, how many guides are there in France or in Paris? How many official guides?
Now, according to the last numbers, which actually date from a couple of years ago, there should be about 10,000 licensed guides in France, but the amount of guides that are actually working full-time, because in France, working as a guide is, for most parts of France, actually a full-time job. There's a little bit of seasonal sides to it, like, for example, in the Côte d'Azur or in Corsica, but even there, all year round, people do visit France. So as a full-time job, you could say that about 4,500 licensed guides really working. The servers are very, very difficult because there is up to now not one syndicate or even federation who's been doing fantastic work defending our trade over the last 10, 20 or 30 years, but that really represents everybody. So the numbers are a bit difficult. But so let's say roughly 4,500 people are licensed guides working in all different parts of France.
Right, that's a big number, and I don't know if everybody is active or not, because we have similar type of issues in India also, because we have a lot of exams, and you know, to become a guide, and then you see people coming without any official training or anything. They just start working as a guide just because they take low salaries, and then you have problems, complaints from tourists happening. Because I've seen this in all parts of the world. I mean, in Paris also, we had once a guide which was not an official guide, and we could see that, you know, unless this is a business that you have to love, you have to love people. Unless you have that feeling of love and you want to give something to people, you have to create that exchange. It doesn't give the same exchange, you know. So it's very important.
Well, you will have. I'm sorry, interrupting you.
Yeah,
but I think everybody has been considering tourism worldwide as just a really big fat cow, and holy cow at that. They could milk, and at a certain moment, the milk goes sour if it's not done with professional hens. There I go again. But it's So we have the same problems in Europe as you might find in India. When organizing tours is done by people who do not know what they're talking about. I mean, with Passion, with Tour Passion, your agency, you probably also have competition that leaves the guests, the clients, with a very sour taste in their mouth afterwards. And a high bill to pay for nothing. Yes.
I agree to this, and we have been, because people see tourism as something very glamorous or lucrative, and you know, when this situation happened now, the present situation, since last 4 months in France, I think France is still doing a lot of help, and I read a lot about, you know, how France or French government is trying to help you. In India, the tourism people have received nothing at all. It's nada. It's totally zero. not even 1 cent for anybody. I understand it's a big country, so it's not easy. But just to say that a lot of people thought that tourism was very lucrative. And obviously, our government also wants to help, but they have their limitations, too many people.
Now,
And now people are realizing tourism is the industry who started, who was the first, which was the first industry to have this problem, and which is going to be the last to recover.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if I can answer the question that you imply, the French government has indeed decided to give an enormous aid to the French tourism industry of 18 billion euros.
Wow.
And yes, some of that does come our way. Some guides have received governmental aid, not much, but at least we don't. It keeps us off the street. Let's say it that way.
Yeah.
In order to survive,
there is about average of like 30, maybe 40% of the guides of France that have received no aid whatsoever, just because they don't fill in the right little boxes. Well, we're all in the same profession.
All right, because I was imagining that with 18 billion euros, it's a big amount. And I was wondering, I thought that everybody in France is getting help in tourism industry. That's what I
no. People tend to forget, the guides. I mean, some of us were helped, mostly those who have a business, their own business. But others are still waiting and asking for help. And, some are even considering changing jobs. So that's sad,
Oh, that's a sad story.
According to a recent survey, about 45% of the licensed guide of France are thinking or are already converting to other trades. They're changing careers.
Oh, right. So they will not be able to sustain. I feel this is a very sad thing.
No.
This is a very sad thing because, again, same in India, we are facing the same issue. A lot of people who are in business, it can be jobs, it can be their own business. A lot of them are not able to sustain because there is no help.
No.
And many will unfortunately disappear. They will have no choice but to find a new business or a new job in a different field because tourism is going to take time.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah,
it's a 0 year. The year does not exist.
Yeah,
in tourism, the year does not exist. March is the starting of the tourist season, the high season,
right?
And it got cut off, and there will be no international tourism until probably next year, March.
Yeah. We saw our groups in Europe, like even the bookings done in January, all the groups got cancelled because nobody can travel in such conditions. So in fact, we saw these problems happening with your tourism industry, and I was not expecting that because I thought in France everybody is receiving money from the government or help, and maybe this is the reason that we were watching, because last few days my friends from Paris have been telling me and sending me some videos about the flash mobs that were happening. So I think everybody all in the audience knows about the famous Louvre Museum, where the famous flash mob happened. I think when the lockdown ended, it was 6 July, I believe.
Yeah, it was for the reopening of the museum. Yeah,
in the Louvre Museum. So I think Louvre Museum is one of the one of the largest museums in the world, or it is the largest museum in the world?
And the most visited as well, with more than 10
million
visitors annually. Yes.
10 million visitors. That's a lot.
Yes.
10 million is
well, not this year.
Not this year. Not this year. So I saw that it was a nice thing to see that all tours guide coming together and doing this flash mob to send a positive message, that we want to give a message. So that was peaceful, but still beautiful.
We were 200 guides.
200
representing all the guides of France that could not come because either they were too far away or because busy with other things. But I think most people who participated at that flash mob, that particular one you're talking about, did feel that they were there not just for their own cause, but for the united cause of all the guides of France, all the licensed guide of France.
That's perfect. So let me just play this video. It's a very short video, and our viewers, our audience can have a look and see how this famous flash mob happened, because I think it went viral in 53 countries. I was reading somewhere. In 53 countries, people have seen that, and everybody's talking about this. So you are giving us ideas. In India, we should do also some flash mob or some requests for help. I mean, our government is very nice, but tourism is suffering badly. So let me just play this flash mob. So that was the beautiful flash mob.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So
it was emotional.
Yeah, that I can understand the emotions related to it, because I worked so many years as a tour guide, and I can understand the emotions. So now we still have a lot of messages coming in. Audrey is saying, great flash mob at Louvre, big moment. Thanks again for the organization. Perveen says, very interesting show. Sad 45% of licensed guide have changed their profession. Perveen is herself a tour manager. Yeah, Perveen is herself a tour manager, so she knows Paris very well. Hello, Perveen. Anil Singh talks about Champs-Élysées, says it's wonderful. Sanjay Sodhi says we love Paris. Everybody loves Paris. Sanjay Sodhi, thank you. Lots of love and hope from India. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Margot and Manuela are so sweet, saying Sanjay Sodhi. Anup Khattar saying hello. So a lot of people are sending beautiful messages. I'm sorry.
That's nice. Thank you.
Read all, but Yolanda is saying on n'est pas saisonnier, on travaille toute l'année avec.
Yeah, that's what Margot said.
That's what we actually said. We did say that France is one of the only countries in the world where guides work all year round. There is a bit of a lull in winter, but that also is for us the time to prepare new walks. So actually, even if it's like working backstage, when you see an actor on stage, he doesn't just jump on stage. There's a lot of work before that, and it's one of the great things with guiding is that you are always learning, and the only moment we have to do that is in winter. So it's not in that sense. I completely agree with Yolanda. It's not seasonal. It's an all year round job.
True.
Right. That's important. So I would just ask you the last question actually through this forum, because a lot of audience is watching, and then this recording is going to go live. So a lot of people will see this recording and they get your message. By the way, Collectif des Guides saying vous les filles. So everybody is watching you and sending you messages. So what message would you like to give to the French government? Because they're helping everybody, but it seems like the guides are not, getting the attention that they should be getting. So you have any message, Margot, you want to give any message to the French government? To this
the Minister of Finance the other day, 3 days ago, maybe 4, was on the news saying that he wanted to rebuild France's industry, meaning all industries, tourism as well, in a new, more ecological way. Well, without us, the tour guides, the licensed tour guides, France will be building a new Gothic cathedral, but without flying buttresses. It will just come crumbling down. So yeah, if when situations will get better, even the French school children will find nobody passing the history, the culture of France, because there will be no tour guides surviving.
Yeah, because it's a big risk of many people changing their jobs. I can understand.
Can I just say one little thing? Because the flash mob, of course, got an incredible public all over the world. But we should not forget that there are many guides every day doing other actions, other flash mobs, trying to maintaining the interest of the French government. And we hope that all our united efforts will have them recognize the dire need our trade is in. Excuse me.
Right.
And can I add something in French, maybe, for our French audience?
Yeah, please, because I saw we have French audience who are writing that they are not understanding anything. So the last message, if you want to give in French, that would be great. Manuela, please go ahead.
Okay, good. So it's a message to the government and the French in general. So. Donc le message important, surtout, c'est qu'on ne veut pas être oublié. Le métier de guide est un vrai métier, c'est une profession, il faut la défendre, il faut la protéger. En ce moment, tout particulièrement parce qu'on est gravement touché par la crise et surtout certains d'entre nous, selon les différents statuts, mais il y en a certains qui vraiment sont en grande difficulté. Et de manière générale, on demande une reconnaissance de notre métier, de notre diplôme. Voilà, c'est quelque chose d'important pour nous. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Manuela. Donc, so it's a very nice message in French. I understand. I hope people understand. So I would just like to thank you for coming and sharing your thoughts with us. I hope the message goes everywhere. So we have the same message for India also. And I just hope, I understand also that even for any government, let it be French government or Indian government, it's not very easy because this is a situation which nobody thought about. So it is coming all of a sudden, and I understand that they also have difficulties, but I'm sure that your message will be reaching to the right people where you want it to reach. And I hope that the situation improves and the tourism comes back to track for all the countries. Thank you very much.
We hope so. Come to Paris. Come.
Yeah, everybody's coming to Paris. So
we're here, waiting for you.
To France.
Come to France. Yeah, true. Come to France. The whole country is beautiful.
Yeah. So we also have a beautiful country, India. We want you to come to India as well, and we will.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much. So I will just end this show with the last word, which is namaste.
Thank you, Naveen.
Thank you for coming.
Merci, Naveen.
Namaste. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to you.
Bye.